As it grows time to leave for my next vacation, I'm reminded of my travel tips, which I thought I'd share because for me they're extremely important. In the olden days, years ago, I would just make sure I have my wallet, my keys, I guess, but I wouldn't be in my car if I didn't have my keys, and phone, but I likely would not. Those things I just wouldn't forget, really. Maybe the wallet, I suppose, since I don't really use it for many purposes. And it just has my driver's license. Hopefully, in the future, we have licenses on phones that's universally accepted. That would be great, but I'm not holding my breath. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't do any good. So I have my travel checklist. Now, it's funny because you'd think it would be my notepad, which I do have, well, notes for talking points here, but it's not. It's actually on a computer and it's in an Excel, well, Google, basically Excel for free, checklist. And I just check, have prepared boxes and columns, and then there's one for like what I need and another column for like, do you got it? And I just check it. If one is clicked or ticked, then the other one must be ticked, otherwise the row doesn't disappear. So that covers everything from my wallet, passport, glasses, snacks, I mean shoes, the right shoes, iPhone cover, is it on the phone? Are all the thermostats off? Just basic stuff that if I left and realized, oh shoot, I didn't do something like that, it's the old did you turn the oven off or the iron off type thing. And then there's other things like the basics. Do I have my hat, my day pack, sunglasses, and the fridge check? That's another one. Did you check the fridge to make sure there's nothing going to spoil? Not the end of the world, but cold weather, umbrella, coat, cold cap, gloves, scarf, muffler, all that kind of stuff. If I'm traveling to a place that's really cold, most of my trips right now are just warm weather, so I don't really need to worry about that kind of stuff. So it's mainly just getting to the airport. And then once I get on even on the plane, I have something, there's a flight sweater. So I make sure that it doesn't matter where I fly, it could be cold on the plane. So I, at a minimum, have a flight sweater. Electronics, do I bring the drone, iPad, earbuds, charging cables, 360 camera, turn on the security camera in the room. I don't keep it on when I'm like here. That would be risky, I guess. Battery pack, the wireless mic, which I'm using right now, so I have to, that gets like ticked last, and then tripod, which is important to have. Laptop, am I bringing that? A mouse, power charger, my clothes for any shows, vitamins, the running. So I have a whole category of running watch, the belt, the shoes, the bottle, and the extra earbuds. I find, well, that's the next category, but so all these things get like ticked off, and it helps me make sure I do not forget anything important. One time I forgot to check shoes because it's one of the last things. I change my shoes once I leave the home, but I didn't tick it, and sure enough, I forgot to change my shoes. So I had my indoor shoes on vacation, which I don't like to do. I like to have separate shoes for indoors and outdoors, so I don't get stuff on the carpet. Yeah, so that's worked out really well. And then when I leave, I don't really use the checklist for coming home. I figure I have everything with me. It probably should, wouldn't hurt me, but I don't. It just helps me make sure I don't end up. I mean, the most important thing I think is a wallet at the airport. I wouldn't be taking a flight if I didn't have my ID. And the passport's is separate. So passport's only when I go internationally. So when I prepare the checklist, I make sure I look, where am I going and what do I need? And speaking of needs, there's like needs versus want. So what I pack in my backpack, I just try to balance, but in looking back in historically, like what have I kind of wanted and needed or wanted and not needed? I mean, everything I needed I usually had. So, and things like iPad. If I'm bringing my laptop, I don't need my iPad. Even though it's great on a plane and watching movies, but actually I can watch movies on my laptop. So things like that. 360 camera. Sometimes I don't take any photos or video, and that's kind of sad because I carried around that weight. A book. I often don't read anything in the book because I get busy, but I always like to bring the book just in case. It's just a wise thing to do. And other things. So I just balance like how much weight's going to put in my backpack or luggage versus how much fun it's going to potentially offer me. And sometimes it's just worth the opportunity for, like the drone. I don't always use the drone, but I really like bringing it just in case there's an opportunity. So anyway, that's my traveling tips, and it works for me. Maybe it works for you. I don't know. Anyway, cheers. I'm like clicking a mouse, but it's a phone.